Hello everyone, my name is Simon Peters. I'm the Managing Director for CallCabinet UK. CallCabinet is a compliance call recording solution. You might or might not have heard of us. We call ourselves one of the best kept secrets in call recording, something we are doing our best to change in the coming time. So, it all started with CallCabinet. CallCabinet is a cloud-born call recording solution. We were born in the cloud. We're cloud native. All of our systems and all of our call recordings are actually as standard stored and held in the cloud. We use the Azure infrastructure to be able to manage and store and hold our solution. So a little about us and who we are. As I say, we're cloud native. We record over 5 billion calls every minute. Annually, 100,000 recordings per minute, 40 data centers across the world, and many more statistics, which we could keep going into. We've been going since 2012. We're a global business, so although, as I say, I look after the UK side of the business, our head office is in America. We have offices in Europe, in South Africa, in Australia. But what it gives us is a global reach to any solution, which means we're able to implement our technology globally, wherever we might be. So as I say, we use the Azure infrastructure in order to be able to store all of those calls. What that basically means is we can give true data sovereignty to any call recording, whether it's recorded. But, and I'll keep mentioning this as I go through this presentation, when we do that, we do it through one single pane of glass. So you don't have to keep moving to different solutions or different screens in order to be able to see all of those call recordings. You get to have them all in one place and secure environment, accessible. One thing we also can say is we're a hybrid solution. So as I move on to, well, I'll come back to hybrid in 1 second. We are platform, and someone else didn't like the phrase, I love this phrase, we are platform agnostic. So we obviously partner with Nuvola and there's some of the platforms that they currently sell from a voice perspective. So contact center for Teams, Microsoft Teams, we're a Microsoft Teams certified call recording partner, but we also can record Cisco, with our Cisco WebEx, the whole voice solution, Zoom, Avaya, and multiple other platforms, and we're working on a couple. In fact, there's some people in here we are talking to, and hopefully by the next time we come to speak to you, we'll be able to announce some of those in the near future. What we basically want to be able to give you, and again I'll reiterate this again, is a single pane of glass for all your call recordings. So if you do have multiple different systems, if you are recording Microsoft Teams, but you've also got a Cisco environment as well, and you want to be able to have all of those call recordings in one single pane of glass, then we can make that possible for you. So cloud native recordings, as I said, we can put everything in our own Azure environment, and that's how it comes as standard. One thing I would say, and one of the things that was mentioned again earlier, our call recordings are stored with a 256-bit rotating encryption key. That's encrypted at source, sent up to the cloud, and then stored individually in encryption. Then those folders that they are kept in are also encrypted. So you've got multiple different levels of security against all of your call recordings. All of those are also stored multi-tenanted, so you don't have to have, so all of those call recordings are separated, and each individual customer has only got access, and can only have access, to their own call recordings via their portal. And as CallCabinet, we don't have access to those call recordings either, making us a compliance call recording solution, utilised by multiple different banks, financial service institutions, and multiple other specific industries that need to be held for compliance, such as medical, financial, insurance, and multiple others. We also offer the capability to offer not just a cloud-based solution. As I said, we do store all of the calls as standard in our own Azure environment. We can store the calls in a customer's own Azure environment, or in another cloud-based storage environment, or for that matter, if they really want to, we can still put it all on-prem in a hard drive in their basement. Not recommended, but we can do it as well for multiple, and we do that for certain larger financial institutions. We also have the capability to be able to offer multiple additional services, and I'll come on to some of those a little bit later. So, what can we bring you as channel partners of Nuvola? What we can give you is multiple different levels of developing new technology. Our system, as I said, is cloud-based, which means it's always got the latest software updates. We're never having to roll out. You're never going to be sat on a legacy solution. You're always going to have the most up-to-date platform, the most up-to-date solution available to you. We're also able to increase the capabilities of contact centres. So, for example, we do work with multiple different contact centre solutions, and we can give added analytics and data information for those solutions. So not just telling you, for example, how many calls have been recorded, but with our advanced analytics features, we can also give you voice and sentiment analysis, keyword searching with the transcription that we've got, and also automated PCI redaction. All additional solutions which can enhance your customer satisfaction, and also at the end of the day, which will come on to on my next slide, added MRR for yourselves, which is something as partners we are all interested in developing. Finally, the versatility, flexibility, and scalability and customizability of our solution. I talked about the enhanced MRR, but also the seamless and frictionless way in which we're able to interact. Because we are a Teams certified call recording solution, we're native within Teams. So when you record Teams, we send a bot to every call recording, and you can actually decide what parameters you want that call recording to have on a user by user basis, on a group basis, or on a site basis. And we have our own applications inside Teams to be able to do that. We are also ISO 27001 certified, giving us advanced security and data protection. One thing I did mention earlier, obviously, is we are certified. We do data sovereignly store those calls, which again means, depending on where you are, on how you want to work, if you're in France and you only need a 5-year retention policy, that's capable. If you're in the UK, you need 7-year data retention, all set up specifically within the platform on a case-by-case basis. If you need to have opt-in call recording, so you actually want to say that I want to be recorded, as is the legislation in France, once again, you can have that set up with the solution. And what's recorded and how it's recorded is also a very important part of what we're able to provide within the actual capability. I'm just going to move on because that slide appears again. One of the other things I wanted to actually draw down to, this is giving you an overview of some of our platform, and I can show you some of the other screens slightly later. Obviously a playback of your call recording. As standard with our call recording license, you get all voice within Microsoft Teams. That means Teams to Teams, Teams to PSDN, and also Teams meetings. But again, with our granular policy settings, as an admin for that system, you're able to then go in there, and then end user admin can do this if you give them that capability, and be able to say what is and isn't recording. Whether you only want internal calls to be recording, or only external calls, or only if a third party joins the call, do you want the call recording to be activated? All of those things, or even if you want on demand, so call recording doesn't happen, but you're going to send a bot to every single call, and if they press the button, then that call will be recorded and stored and kept in the system. We also have the capability of adding on video recording as well, and screen sharing for up to 9 participants of any Teams call meeting. That's a Teams requirement, the 9 users, not our requirement, just because of bandwidth in order to get the video up into the cloud. But that also includes screen sharing. And you can see by this little infographic, when someone's recording their video, the blue line shows the recording. If they're sharing the screen, the grey line is their screen recording, and it shows how they are able, when they're actually on screen. We also have the capability of adding on our own quality assurance, whether that's manual quality assurance or our automated quality assurance with analytics. What that basically means is you can, when you're playing back the call, you can actually score the call based on some predetermined parameters. How well is the agent speaking? Are they speaking, have they said the correct terminology when answering the call? Have they got the correct contact details? Giving you the capability to be able to score those agents, especially those working in a hybrid solution, on various different parameters, and being able to analyse how they are actually working. these are a couple more of our screens. We also, within our actual call recording license, you have the capability to be able to tag calls, make notes on calls, compliantly share calls, which means a call never has to actually leave the platform. It can all be shared natively within the system, and everything within our platform is tracked. So from a compliance perspective, if you want to be able to see when someone's logging into the platform, when they're playing back calls, who's playing back calls, if someone tries to delete a call, we can actually remove the capability for people to be able to delete calls and just leave them via the retention policy. But all of that is capable within the platform for them to be able to do. This is some of the advanced features, as I mentioned, with the quality assurance, but also you have the capability to be able to keyword search within transcription. Transcription is an ever-developing capability. The effectiveness and the quality of that transcription is always improving, and we're doing our best to always follow that as well. But then with that as well, you also get the capability of being able to add in some of our analytics. And this isn't just looking at how many calls, as I mentioned, people are making. This is looking at things like customer experience. So how many calls are people taking? But what's the actual mood of those calls? How well is that agent performing? Have they had a really bad night last night and they're really grumpy today? So all of their calls have started off really negatively. And maybe we need to just have a quick word and ask them to take a break and come back a bit later. As part of that as well, we also can look at things like chat with your data. This is using GPT to be able to analyse those calls and actually get you summaries. So if you've got a 2-hour call in there, you could either listen to the call back and spend another 2 hours listening to it. You can take that transcription and read it, or you can just click on one of the calls and ask our inbuilt GPT service, which is all built behind our own firewall, so you haven't got any worries about it escaping into the wider ether, to be able to give you a quick summary of that call. What are the key 5 points that I need to take away from that call? Were there any tasks that I need to follow up from those calls? All of that can be done inside our solution with the GPT inbuilt function. A really, really useful and accessible solution. And then our advanced analytics. This gives you the capability to be able to build as many different types of reports as you want to be able to do, to be able to send reports to whoever you need to and extract as much information out of that data. When you think about call recordings, you can think about them as a box sat in your basement that you need to go and check every so often to make sure that someone's doing something well or not doing something badly. Or you can use it and think of them as a data source. You've got all of that information, all of those hours of call recording sat in that storage solution, or now hopefully in the cloud. But it's untapped data. You don't ever produce a spreadsheet and just leave it there. You might produce pivot tables to extract the data from those Excel spreadsheets. So what we enable you to do with our either standard or advanced analytics is draw out that information, and for your customers to draw out that information and get all of those specific bits of information out there, making it more usable for them, making it possible for them to be able to really understand what's going into their solutions and to their voice platforms. So, as I mentioned, just as a summary, some of our advantages. We have single sign-on, we've got security logs, as I mentioned, custom retention policies, multi-factor authentication. But the other thing is we can also jailbreak legacy data. So if you have customers, or you have end customers or partners who have got other call recording solutions, because there are a couple of others out there, but they want to move to CallCabinet and now have again a single pane of glass for all of their call recordings, we can bring all of that into one place. We can ingest those legacy call recordings and bring them into a single pane of glass where they're able to search, filter, and for that matter, analyze all of those call recordings as if they were recorded yesterday by our solution. Just a couple of examples of some of the customers we currently serve. And then finally, just to finish off, a quick summary, how we can help you to win deals and win solutions. Flexible storage, jailbreaking customer data, flexible solutions, recording against mixed environments, and one UI, one platform, all in one solution. So I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much for all of your for listening to me. If there's any questions, or yes, questions.
One question. Yes, sorry.
Sure.
Fantastic presentation. I think for me is I've got 3 questions.
Okay.
The first one is it trunk side or user side recording?
It depends on which solution you're taking. For Microsoft Teams, it's actually based inside Teams, so it's done as a bot. We can do SIPREC, or we can do it on either side. So it just depends on the solution that we're recording and how we actually record it.
Okay, and if I was to consume this as a customer, is it a CapEx or is it a price per user per month model?
Price per user per month model. So with depending on, again, solution, it's all priced on a per user per month model. Our solution, I didn't actually mention, comes with unlimited storage based on fair usage. So all of that storage that I mentioned before is all included within that per user per month model. And it just means that it's easy for you to be able to add on customers across the solution. You can also have mixed solutions as well. So you could have some people on core, some people on advanced, depending on how you wanted to work it across the business.
Final one, and we'll do the last one. In terms, you mentioned about analytics. So in terms of customer survey information, does your platform support that, or is that something completely different?
What do you mean by customer survey solution?
So I ring in and said, can you rate this call?
Ah, right, okay. No, our solution doesn't include that. That's more at the contact center end. So, for example, I see that CC for All might have something like that that's able to offer that solution. Ours is all based on when the call's taken place, and we analyse the call afterwards and how well the agent has performed within the solution. But if you have any other questions afterwards, then please feel free to let me know.